Capital Partners, which is a 13% stake in Uber, is suing to remove former Chief Executive Officer Travis Kalanick and his allies off the company's board. Benchmark accused Kalanick of fraud in a lawsuit filed today. For more, let's bring in Bloomberg's Brad Stone, who's in San Francisco. Brad, great to have you on. What do we know about this accusation, this lawsuit of fraud against Travis? And when we're talking about those of his on the board also involved in this, who are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the more unusual lawsuits I have seen in my time covering Silicon Valley. I mean, Uber's largest, one of its earliest investors, suing the former CEO to get him off the board. You know, nominally, this is about 3 board seats. One which Travis Kalanick occupies, 2 which he controls and are still open, actually. Benchmark is saying that they never would have given Travis Kalanick these extra board seats back in June 2016 if they had known all of the scandals that have subsequently emerged. But really, we can take a step back and say this is a battle for control over Uber. I mean, there's a CEO process still ongoing. It's clear that the board is divided about what kind of CEO they should hire, and it's about this IPO process. Travis and his allies always trying to push it out, take a longer-term view, and Benchmark and some of the early investors wanting to see liquidity sooner than that.
So talk to me about the ownership here, because my understanding is Travis owns, some 10% of the outstanding shares, so a smaller proportion actually than Benchmark. If they do succeed in kicking him off the board, what happens to his share ownership?
Yeah, it wouldn't affect the share ownership, but I mean, I think the numbers are in the lawsuit, and these are basically Uber's 2 biggest investors, both with sizable stakes and voting blocks, whose interests are basically not aligned anymore. And this is, I think we've seen a lot of the evidence that their interests are misaligned. Benchmark led the effort to oust Travis Kalanick and as CEO, and now wants him off the board. They own very similar stakes of stock, and it's clear that really part of the story of these last 6 months is the story of the Benchmark Travis Kalanick relationship souring.